it's time to cut the cable because now we're going wireless. So what I have in my hand here is a GameCube controller with the new 8bitdo wireless PCB put inside of it. And before I talk about this, I'm actually going to show you how easy it is to put this thing together. It's advertised as no soldering required, which technically speaking, yes, you can put this together without soldering anything. You'll see in the video why I say technically. Alright, I've got, well, I was going to say one, but I actually have two because I have two controllers. But I've got one of these mod kits right here, and I'm going to open it up and show you what's inside. Oh, they give you a new pair of stick caps, which is nice. Oh, what's this? Little pull tab on here. They also give you a tri-wing screwdriver. That's cool, so you don't actually need your own. I had my own over here, but let's show off the one that they give you with the kit. So they give you the tri-wing. They give you some new stick caps. I'm assuming, I don't know if it has something to do with the bottom, because like, if you look on, I don't know how well it'll come up on the camera, but on the original, there's a little notch on the old ones so that, you know, you don't put the letter C upside down. We'll find out what the case is with these new ones, but yeah, let's use the new stick caps. There's also some teeny tiny things here. Here's a little cable. Oh, you know what I should have shown off first? The box does come with instructions. Should really be the first thing I should have shown off, but oh well. Alright, we've got the instructions right here. I hope they come up well on the camera. There we go. So, take out the old PCB, put in the new one, and all the different information for switching the modes is on here too. Good. They've also got a little slip here to show off, I guess, the wireless part of it. Putting a little wireless thing on. Alright. This is my first time doing this because this kit just came out not too long ago. I already took apart my controller, both of my controllers. We'll show off the black one. I kept the screws on here so that I don't lose them, but let's twist those off here and put them off to the side there. Alright, so we're gonna put in the new PCB. Ooh, they have a nice little note on here. We include this oversized, well, you can read it on there. They include this bag so you can put your old one in there so you can swap them at any time, which is great. Although once you see what my old PCB for this controller looks like, you'll probably see why I didn't put it in this bag. So we've got the left stick over here, the battery and all that. Make sure your triggers are all the way up so that they fit in these holes. Might not be all the way up, whatever. Make sure they are high enough to fit in the holes. Oh, this is interesting. Little USB-C port on there. Interesting. Number 4 says I gotta actually put it on this side here. Okay, silly me. Whatever, let's do that now. Okay, so this goes right here. Look at that, fits right there. Now, let's see here. Oh, stupid me, I forgot to put this actual stick on there. Yeah, don't forget to put your sticks on there. There we go. Now we put it in. Okay, cool. Now we're going to connect the C stick. So let's put our... I don't think the old one will fit on there. No, the old caps will not fit on there. So, make sure when you put it in, the letter C is the right way. Oh, these do have clicky button. Oh, did they add L3, R3 to this? They might have. We'll take a look at that later. Alright. Am I putting this in the right way? Yes, I am. There we go. Goes in there. And make sure you line up the hole with the peg. Can I get it lined up there? Oh man. Gee, it's a little... Okay. We got it. We got it. We got it. There we go. It's in there. Cool. Now, next step in the process, we already removed the motor and... Oh, I guess... Are we supposed... Oh, look at this. You take the old motor and you put it... Use heat to shrink the tubes. Okay. Well, I don't have my heat gun with me. So I guess you are going to need a heat gun or an air or a hair dryer. That's another thing you can use. Let me go grab my old PCB real quick. Alright, I've got my old PCB here in this little bag. I've got some other junk in here too. I'll just toss that junk to the side. Alright. Here it is, the old PCB. And if you take a look, you can already see what the problem is. Yeah, that's supposed to be straight up. If you just... maybe it'll be easier to show off when I put this thing on. Oh, the actual stick part is crushed itself. I can't put the old one back on anyway. Either way, it's ugh. Yeah, that's bad. But we're taking the old motor off of this. This black controller, my brother found it at a Goodwill, I think. Might have been a Salvation Army. One of those kinds of stores. And it was already broken, and he bought it anyway. And then he ended up not using it, and then he gave it to me. And now I have it. So the connections on here are, you know, not the strongest, so you can just, you know, kind of pluck them right off. And according to this, well, in here they show, you know, you use a pair of scissors. But it looks like all you do they really just want me to just like touch them together in the little heat shrink here? I'm in my workshop right now, and I've got a alternate little solution if you don't want to do any soldering, is to just twist the two wires together, and then we'll just fold it. I'm trying to do this with one hand, and as you know, that's always difficult. Doing this with two hands, you can't see right now. But yeah, then you slide it over, and then I'll plug in my, well actually before I plug in my heat gun, I don't have my tripod on me, so I'm just gonna, here's what I did. And of course you're probably going to need some really thin wire strippers for this one, and a pair of probably needle nose pliers will work best for you. At least that's what I used. These are pretty fat needle nose pliers I have right here. I'm just gonna twist these together. You do this, you don't have to worry about soldering, because this kit is advertised as a no solder kit. But I guess, you know, if you're not really comfortable with that connection though, you could always just solder it yourself. But I'm just gonna twist it. I'm gonna plug in my heat gun, and I forgot to, there we go. Alright, plugging in my heat gun, and here we go. I'm just gonna, actually let's keep the camera down here so you can see the little thing shrinks. See? Now we'll do the other one, and there goes my camera. And look at that. I'm just gonna flip it over and try to get a little over here. Wonderful. So yeah, there we go. That's your, also just, you know, this is gonna be hot, obviously. That's your no solder solution, because like I said, this kit was advertised as a solderless kit. So I guess, you know, that's your solution for that. Alright, I'm going to plug this into, it just plugs right into this port here. I don't have my tripod on me. I'm just going to do this off camera. No, you know what? I'm just going to do it right now. See if I can... you can't see what I'm doing, but it plugs into the right side of the thing. And I'm trying my... I wish I brought my tripod with me. Why didn't I not do that? Oh, anyway, I pushed it in there, and now I'm putting the motor back on here. And there we go. Alright. There we go. Oh, good. Let's go. Well, I'll do that later. Going through the rest of this, it's just as simple as... That's odd. Now they're showing you putting the whole unit on here. Okay, interesting. Then you connect... What's being connected here? There they are, showing off a connection here. That's the motor connection. Right, the motor plugs into here. And then you screw it all together when you're done. Okay, so I'm just gonna, wait, do you reuse the mount as well? Oh, I guess you reuse the mount as well. Oh, okay. Silly me, they didn't show this off. The new trigger, sensors, I guess we'll call them. The new trigger sensors are taped right to the board. Okay. There we go. We'll be careful with that. Okay, so you take this whole thing out. Here, let me show it off on camera. Okay. So you're reusing this whole mount. I see. And your trigger is gonna go through that slot there. So I'm just gonna come down here and just, there's one trigger, there's the other trigger, we put that mount on here, like so, wonderful. And of course your motor is going to go right in here, after you solder this up. One other thing, don't forget, this is the wireless receiver, I think, which plugs somewhere into the PCB, and I guess they don't really show it off, but you're probably gonna have to cut out a slot for that USB-C to be exposed so you can plug it in, right? No, I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. That's what this cable is for. This is the charging cable. Ah, this is the charging cable. I'm an idiot. So no, you don't actually have to cut out a slot for the USB-C. Here, let me take this mount off so you can see it better. So this little thing goes right into here. So I'm just gonna, you lift up on that. I don't know if it came up on camera very well, but you just lift up on that. And then you put, I'm gonna try shoving it. And it looks like it stayed. Then I guess I just gotta fold this and hope this works. Hold on. It looks like it just goes like that. Okay, so I did not cut anything. Just testing without the mount. I should be able to just close that all together with no issue. I should. If I put the mount on. Let me put this mount on. And there we go. We have it all together. And I actually have my my trigger wires going through the correct way. I guess, the best way to do that is, when you're installing it, just make sure you put the wire in that slot first before you actually slot it in. That'll make it a lot easier for you. Obviously, this is not the best tutorial, but it's probably going to be one of the first ones. Okay. I'm going to, like I said, I don't have my heat gun on me, but I'm going to, solder and wire, the motor later. You know what? Let's just close it for now, make sure my triggers are up. I'll do the motor later on my own time. I'm just gonna put this together. Make sure everything goes together. Kinda looks like it's popping apart, which scares me because I'm afraid I might have done... Did I do anything wrong? Maybe if I just screw it together, it'll be fine. Let's use their tri-wing. There are going to be probably thousands of videos that show off this whole process better. But until then, you're stuck with me. Oh, great. I don't like working on camera, because then I end up making a little bit of a fool of myself. But oh well. Don't make them too tight, just make them snug. These are screws going into plastic. You do not want to break the plastic. Okay, everything seems to be together. And this is the charging cord. So if I plug this into something, it should charge, or it could even probably come up on the system as a wired controller if I do this. That's the theory. One thing to note here, I did earlier, I didn't show footage of it, but I did plug this into my PC in Android mode, and it only worked wireless. It did not work wired. I don't know if plugging it in through the hidden USB-C cord will make the wired connection work as a wired controller or not, but I'm not gonna open this up to find out. Basically what I'm saying is this little thing is only for charging, not for making it a wired connection. So now that you've seen my first attempt at putting this together, which in all honesty I probably should have shown off the second attempt, as that went a lot smoother. And yes, for those who are wondering, this mod kit does work on both the official GameCube controller and bootleg controllers, as they basically use the same shell. So if you have one lying around or you find one at a store or whatever for real cheap, yes, you can use a bootleg controller with this mod kit and it'll work. But now that you've seen the installation process, let me talk a little bit about this controller. So first off, it has Hall effect sticks, which, you know, is the hot new thing that every controller manufacturer is talking about now, except for the first party companies. Oh well. So theoretically speaking, these sticks should last longer, so that's good. The other thing about this controller, before I get into the big thing, as you saw, unique little cable, but if for any reason you lose this cable, which I actually didn't know where I put it when I was recording this, you can always cut out a notch here and there's a USB-C port there, which is really convenient and nice, and I really like that. And the last thing I want to mention about this controller is the two modes and what the differences between those modes are. The first mode is switch mode, and the second mode is what 8bitdo likes to call Android mode. Now I'm going to start talking about Android mode first, which, by the way, I kind of don't like calling it Android mode, because yes, this does work on PC. You can see in my footage, I'm testing it on my Steam Deck. I'm going to assume that this is using D input, as that's the input they've used for past controllers' Android modes, but I could be wrong. Regardless, I'm going to call it D input mode. So D input mode keeps the analog triggers, which is a good thing. So if you're playing Mario Sunshine on the Dolphin emulator, or you're playing a racing game that supports analog triggers, you can just, push it a little bit and it'll go a little bit, push it all the way and it'll do the all the way action. And yes, the sticks do click in. You do have R3 and L3, so they've given us 2 additional buttons on this controller, which is neat. One thing that's a little different about this mode though is the Z button does not register as the right shoulder button or the R1 button. It registers as the select button. Interesting. Don't worry though, if you're playing Pummel Party, you can still cycle through the menus with just the controllers, so it's not a lost cause for Pummel Party, thankfully. Now, all these things I just mentioned are not the case on Switch mode. So of course, Android mode is start and B, Switch mode is start and Y. So when you connect this to your Switch in Switch mode, this is not detected as a GameCube controller. It's detected as a Switch Pro controller. And of course, a Switch Pro controller does not have analog triggers, which means your triggers are detected as digital inputs, not analog inputs. So pushing halfway is not going to make a difference in Mario Sunshine. The Z button is detected as the R button, the right shoulder button. So I guess that's normal. So how do you get the select button? Well, that's easy. And this is also how you get the home button too. So for the select button, you hold, I think it's start and up. And if you want the home button, you hold start and down. So there you go. As long as you remember those button combos for the Nintendo Switch mode, you'll know how to go back home and you'll know how to press select. I mean, you're already memorizing the combos for which mode is what. Start and B is Android mode, and start and Y is Switch mode. Now for the big question I ask at the end of these GameCube controller videos. Should you buy this thing? That really depends. So for context, these 2 controllers were both broken. You already saw this one, we'll call it the Goodwill controller, because my brother bought it at like a Goodwill, I think. Or maybe it was Salvation Army, whatever. The stick was wobbly, you'd move it around and it would just move on its own. No good, busted a controller. This one, bootleg controller, lasted about a week and then it had insane stick drift. These were both broken controllers. If you have broken GameCube controllers, yes, you should buy this mod kit. Should you take apart your perfectly good, perfectly fine, no issues GameCube controller and put this mod kit in there? No, not really. If you have GameCube controllers and they work and they don't have issues, you don't need to spend the $25 on the mod kit. For I think just $20, you could buy the Mayflash adapter, which you can plug 4 GameCube controllers into. But what if you do not own any GameCube controllers? Should you get a GameCube controller, a broken one, for really, really cheap, and then throw this mod kit in there? Well, as I mentioned, the mod kit is $25, which is a really good price, don't get me wrong. I'm glad it's $25, but also you're spending a little extra for that broken controller. If all you have is $25, you can just buy a GameSir Nova Lite. That controller is also $25, and because it's a modern controller, it has all of the modern controller functions, meaning you have the L button. GameCube don't have the L button or the select button or the home button. But with the GameCube controller, you have all those buttons, and it works on the Switch and the PC. With all that being said, I really like this mod kit overall. I really like that they gave us the stick clicks and the option for USB-C hidden right there. But I wouldn't recommend it to just anyone, only to people who have broken GameCube controllers lying around. Great product, I really like it, but realistically speaking, who am I going to recommend this thing to? But hey, if your GameCube controller breaks, or someone gives you one, or you just get one for really cheap or whatever, now you know what you're gonna do with it. And I really like that. I really like just being able to just, take something that's, broken or no good and making it useful again. And with all that said and done, I know 8bitdo doesn't watch my videos, but it would be really cool if they did the same thing for the classic controller. All they would have to do is add the stick clicks and it would be as functional as a modern controller. It even has the analog triggers. Could you imagine how well this video would age if that happened? I probably shouldn't bet money on that. Beggars can't be choosers. I'm lucky enough that they released this mod kit, so. But a man can dream, can't he? I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't exactly edited the best, but hey, you know what? Now you know, now you've learned. But if you didn't, I'll make sure you